Welcome to the August allotment. I've just arrived at my plot. I've got some kale to plant today and it's very dry. We've not had any rain for 2 months in the southwest. Apart from a rogue shower a few days ago, that's been it. So everything is incredibly dry, as you can see. The grass is pretty much brown. The raspberries are suffering a lot now. I'm just unlocking the shed and just checking everything's okay in there, which it seems to be. The apple's nearly ready. And I'm digging my trenches first of all, putting my kale in. And that soil is powder. It's so incredibly dry. There's no moisture at all. It's not the best planting conditions. But I want to get my kale in now because it's warm and it can bed in over the autumn, which means in the winter it will have had a good start. So that's the whole plan, really. I always plant my winter crops like my kale and my broccoli, always plant them in late summer while the soil is warm. And there they are, I managed to plant them. I had to give them a really good soak to make sure that they were bedded in properly. And I'll water them every couple of days through this dry weather to make sure that they are properly hydrated. The raised beds work really well. I've had some very good yields this summer. Even though it's been very dry, I've tended to grow things in breadth rather than depth, so a little bit of everything. And I've covered them up because with kale, I don't want the cabbage white butterflies laying eggs or the birds swooping down and having a feast, which is more likely to happen. The pigeons will be onto those. So by netting them up, that's given them protection. I have to show you my t-shirt. Warning, may start talking about my allotment at any time. I had to buy this t-shirt because I'm so passionate about gardening and I'm so passionate about my allotment. Pear trees, the pears are tiny. I haven't tried eating them yet. I don't think they're ripe. I don't know whether they'll be edible or not. They probably won't be all that good this year. The plums certainly are not ready to eat yet. They're still very, very hard. But I'm hoping to harvest those fairly soon. That bed is waiting to have some fruit in it later on in the year, probably some raspberry canes. The Belotti beans have been actually quite good, although I have lost some due to stems snapping and what have you. We've had a really nice meal with some Belotti beans and they were very tasty. They were really good. My flower bed, gladioli bed, has been a bit mixed. Dahlias I'm keeping going. The gladioli have pretty much gone over now and the sweet peas are on their way out a bit now. The spring onions have been really good and I have now harvested all the carrots that were in that bed and the onions are ready to pick, and we've already had a couple of red onions and cooked them and they were absolutely delicious. I've got the parsnips here, the kale, we've had some kale, some summer kale I suppose, and then that's a little pumpkin that I put in, which seems to be doing quite well. There's a bit of space in there for some more crops. The flower beds are not looking fantastic, certainly the Rebecchias finishing off a little bit now, and this little trough of water needs topping up nearly every day at the moment. I think the birds like drinking from that. But the flowers are okay, but they're not their best now. And as I said, the raspberries, these are autumn raspberries, they have been dreadful this year because they basically haven't had any water. I just can't water everything. So they haven't yielded much fruit. But the rhubarb is better than it was this time last year. And the strawberries are just starting, I cut them all back and they're just starting to regrow. I don't know whether there'll be much of a yield from them next year. I think I'm going to have to put some more plants in. You need to do that every 3 to 4 years with strawberries, is change them over. That's my storage area next to my shed, which is looking fairly tidy. And then I've got some flowers here in the shade of the shed. And the nasturtiums are not brilliant. They need it to be a bit cooler, really. The cosmos have grown a little bit. And there's a few geraniums and other bits as well. This is my storage area. The compost bins are looking full, but I have acquired another compost bin, a round one, from somebody who is giving those away. But the compost bins are looking fairly full. I don't know what I'm going to use that for, but I've got lots of storage on my plot. And those are the beetroot, which actually, although they're not very leafy, the size of the beets are reasonable. They're sort of large golf ball size at the moment. The flowers are starting to go over a bit, and these younger fruit trees haven't yielded any fruit at all, but they're only in their second year, so they should be okay for next year. That's my pond, which needs topping up regularly. A lot of my ground is covered because I'm just not using everything this year, which I think was probably a wise idea. I have down here some butternut squash. I didn't even know I planted them. I thought that it was a courgette plant, and I've got 2 lovely butternut squash coming on, which will be lovely. I'm really excited about those. The courgettes have been less productive, but they're looking quite healthy. And as I say, lots of the soil is covered because I just haven't used it this year. And now my winter kale's in, I feel happy. My little purple beans they've gone over now. They've had it, they've copped it, but they've had a good yield. I've had a lot of beans from them. They've been excellent. And that pretty much concludes my tour of the allotment in early August, and autumn is nearly upon us. So the next visitation will be, late August, early September, and I wonder whether the weather will change. So thank you for watching my videos. As you know, I love sharing my allotment journey with you, and please subscribe to Pink Octopus Productions.